The twin sons of Valrian Prime bled gold over the imperial spire, casting the capital in a haze of molten light. The city stretched to the horizon, an endless lattice of obsidian towers, silver domes, and drifting airships that hummed between them like insects over a sleeping giant. And at the heart of it all, beneath 10,000 meters of armored basalt and quantum locks, slept the vault of the first emperor, sealed by his own living code. They said the vault could hear blood, that it could smell lineage, and that those who tried to open it without the emperor's DNA simply stopped existing. It was legend, of course. Or so the Imperial Council told the citizens of the Dominion. Yet in the quiet chambers of the High Archive, beneath shifting holograms of old wars and long-dead monarchs, a human scientist from the outer colonies had just asked the question that should never have been asked. Is there an override? His name was Dr. Ethan Ward, and his voice carried like a whisper that rippled through eternity. Across the marble floor, Grand Minister Zelroth froze. The alien's eyes, twin rings of liquid silver, flickered like mirrors trying to reject the reflection before them. Override, the minister repeated slowly, his voice laced with both confusion and fear. You speak of treason, human. Ethan stood his ground. I speak of possibility. You told me the vault seal is genetic, that it only responds to the Emperor's bloodline. But the Emperor has been dead for 2 centuries. And the Dominion is collapsing. Zelroth's tendrils twitched, glinting in the air like living ribbons. Then it will collapse, as all things must. The vault is not meant to open. Ethan's gaze was steady. But what if what's inside could save it? The minister's breath came out as a hiss, part rage, part fear. Many have died believing that. The Emperor's treasures are not for mortals to wield. Ethan's hand rested on the small device strapped to his wrist, a spectral scanner, tuned for ancient genetic frequencies. He wasn't supposed to have it. He wasn't supposed to be here at all. But Earth's envoy had sent him for one purpose, to understand why an empire that had conquered galaxies was dying from within and whether the vault beneath Valrian held the answer. He turned his eyes toward the holographic image of the vault hovering in the air between them, a titanic circular chamber, engraved with runes older than the stars themselves. At its center, a single column of light spiraled upward like a frozen tornado. The Emperor's genetic seal was woven into it, a living, self-replicating strand of code bound to his DNA. Unbreakable. Eternal. Divine. And yet Ethan Ward, a human born on a dying blue planet 1,000 light-years away, had seen something in the readings that no one else had. A pattern, a dormant layer in the genetic encryption, a second key hidden beneath the first. He didn't know what it meant. But he knew what it suggested. Someone, maybe even the Emperor himself, had built an override. That night, when the twin suns vanished and the storm walls rose over Valrian, Ethan stood alone before the sealed gates of the Imperial Vault. The air shimmered with energy. The gates were a single slab of living metal, humming faintly, as though breathing. Runes pulsed along its surface like veins under skin. The silence pressed against him like gravity. He raised his wrist device. The scanner pulsed. Genetic lock active. Access level, divine. Status, permanent. Let's see about that, Ethan whispered. He initiated the override sequence he'd built in secret, a spectral algorithm designed to replicate ancestral DNA signatures based on residual decay patterns. The idea was madness, but so was the universe he now stood in. The air thickened. The vault's surface came alive with symbols. And somewhere deep beneath his feet, ancient machinery stirred for the first time in 200 years. Then came the voice, vast, genderless, cold. Identify yourself. Ethan's pulse thundered. Dr. Ethan Ward, Terran Science Council. I request permission to initiate code inquiry. Unauthorized. The bloodline of the Emperor alone may command this seal. He swallowed hard. Then show me the override. The runes froze. The humming deepened. The floor trembled as though the world itself considered his words. And then, impossibly, one of the symbols changed color. The following morning, Ethan was summoned to the council spire. Guards in obsidian armor escorted him through halls carved from the bones of extinct leviathans. The air reeked of power and fear. When he entered the chamber, every eye turned toward him, 12 counselors of the Dominion, robed in white flame, their features veiled by mist. Above them floated the spectral seal of the first emperor, a crown of light burning with silent authority. Grand Minister Zelroth spoke first. You were at the vault. Ethan didn't deny it. Yes. And you attempted access. Yes. You understand this is death. Ethan's voice didn't tremble. Then kill me. But before you do, ask yourself why the vault responded. That stopped them. The chamber crackled with unease. Several of the counselors whispered among themselves, their misty forms wavering. It did not respond, Zelroth said finally. Ethan stepped forward. It changed color. One of the Emperor's runes turned blue from the original gold. I have the scan logs. He projected them from his wrist, shimmering data glyphs filling the chamber. A ripple went through the council like a shockwave. That rune, whispered one of the veiled counselors, belongs to the Shadow Key. Zelroth turned sharply. Silence. But the damage was done. The word had been spoken, Shadow Key, and it was as though a ghost had been called into the room. Ethan frowned. What is the Shadow Key? The chamber fell deathly still. Finally, Zelroth spoke, his voice heavy. The first emperor was no fool. He ruled for 3,000 years through clones of his own body. Each carried a piece of his mind. But when he foresaw his death, he built one failsafe, a genetic counter-sequence hidden within his vault's lock. An override, Ethan whispered. Yes, said the minister darkly. But not one of mortal origin. He bound the override not to blood, but to curiosity. Ethan's breath caught. Curiosity? The vault awakens only when someone asks the forbidden question, whether it can be opened. Ethan froze. You asked it. The room pulsed with tension. Even the spectral seal above them dimmed slightly, as if listening. Zelroth stepped closer. You've awakened the Shadow Key. It will test you now. If you proceed, there will be no turning back. Ethan met his gaze. Then show me where to begin. That night, under the crimson moons, they descended together into the vault once more. This time, the gates opened slightly at Ethan's approach, just enough to let them see inside. A vast chamber unfolded before them, floating columns of data, rotating symbols, and at its center a crystalline sarcophagus suspended in light. The Emperor's mind core, Zelroth murmured. His consciousness, preserved in code. Ethan stepped closer. He left a message. The air shimmered. A voice echoed ancient, thunderous, yet filled with weary calm. If you stand before my vault and question its seal, then curiosity lives still. Speak your purpose. Ethan's voice trembled. The Dominion is dying. The outer colonies are starving. We seek your wisdom, your power, to restore balance. Silence. Then. Power restores nothing. Curiosity is the only fire that endures. But to open my vault fully, you must offer truth, not obedience. The voice faded. The light dimmed. And from the sarcophagus, a single shard of light drifted down, embedding itself into Ethan's palm. The shard burned cold in his skin for days. It pulsed when he slept, when he breathed, when he thought. Ethan began to see things, fragments of another life. A crown of suns. Armies of light. A man whose eyes glowed like twin galaxies. The Emperor. He was still there, not dead, not gone, but dreaming inside the shard. Waiting. When Ethan returned to the vault, the gates opened for him completely. Zelroth watched in awe as the human stepped into the Emperor's sanctum, the light of the ancients wrapping around him like armor. Ethan, the alien whispered, what have you become? His heir, Ethan said softly. Or his final question. Within the vault, holograms bloomed to life, maps of dying worlds, archives of forgotten wars, blueprints of technology beyond imagination. The treasure of the Emperor was not gold, it was knowledge. Forbidden, infinite, dangerous. And at the heart of it all stood a terminal marked with the Emperor's crest. Ethan approached, the shard glowing brighter. DNA signature, incompatible. Secondary access detected. Override, human initiated. The chamber trembled. Light cascaded from the ceiling. The Emperor's voice thundered again. You are not of my blood, yet you carry my flame. Tell me, human, what will you do with the vault? Ethan closed his eyes. He saw Earth, broken and poor. He saw Valrian, proud and dying. He saw the arrogance of empires, the futility of kings. And then he whispered the only truth he had, I'll open it for everyone. The vault responded, not with rage, but with light. The walls shattered into beams of data that shot into the heavens, spreading across the Dominion's network. Every world received the same transmission, the Emperor's archives, unlocked. His secrets, his sciences, his mistakes, all of it, released. Zelroth fell to his knees, whispering in disbelief. You've ended the Dominion. Ethan turned to him, eyes glowing with the same twin galaxy light. No. I've ended the Empire. The people will decide what comes next. Far above, the skies of Valrian lit up like dawn. Every starship, every data relay, every planetary AI came alive with ancient code, the Emperor's knowledge flooding the cosmos. The voice of the Emperor whispered one last time. Curiosity is the only crown worth wearing. Then the light faded. And where Ethan Ward once stood, there was nothing but a burning shard of crystal, slowly dimming, its work complete.